All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Star Slammers issue number 5, but it's not 5, it's a special. There's a whole reason behind that. I'm not going to explain it all, but let's say this book has a lot of problems when production and whatnot. And when I first, I have the hardcover, by the way, with the prologue. And the prologue was super cool, right? It has a lot of potential. And I thought, oh man, if the prologue is what the rest of the book is, I'm 100% on board. Unfortunately, it just fell off a cliff real quick in the normal, when the normal story has been told. Instead of this awesome, cool race of ultra warriors that is nearly invincible, the Star Slammers. But instead it's about this guy called Rojas being kidnapped, being brought to some kind of a planet for execution or something, and you have Colonel Phaedra, who was basically his jailer or guards, but then, they became friends or something like that because they are being betrayed by a group of race that is infiltrating the ship. It's very, very convoluted. So basically this year, also a prologue, I don't know why, because we already had a prologue. This is basically the story of each issue that I already have reviewed. I'm not going through all of that, but you can pause the video if you are interested. Art by Walter Simonson, fantastic artist. Colonel Phaedra here, in my opinion, is probably the most interesting and also attractive character. Great design, by the way. So, long story short, the ship has been taken over by a telepath group of people called the Skies, and they have taken hold of the captain, who is now flying the spaceship towards the home planet, try to crash it into the planet, wiping out the Empire and then taking control of the Empire or whatever. And the whole reason for that is just so convoluted and so over the top and so grandeur, although it really doesn't follow up with the rest of the story. It's just very pretentious. I believe that is the word I'm looking for. And we are rounding this up because the Star Slammer is being tried to being executed. These guys are being captured, and this head of this sky people, or telepaths, by the way, and she, although it looks like a guy, but she is called Songbird. I mean, that's a stupid name. Anyway, but then we see this awesome shot with Colonel Phaedra coming in and blasting everybody to bits. Again, super awesome, cool design, tough, I want to say the B word, but, tough girl, woman, super cool, looks great. So she is killing everyone left and right. So we have Rojas here lying here, dying, I guess. So this is this woman called Songbird. These are Colonel Phaedra's lieutenants and private or sergeants. I'm not entirely sure. And she's way too quick for them to, to react, right? And but then Songbird here says that she is, couldn't get a hold of Phaedra's thoughts because she has been protected, but now she's up close. She's, being vulnerable, I guess, to her telepathic abilities, right? But then Rojas here has somehow the ability to turn into the Hulk, but also not, right? You have, how do you say, dual consciousness, dual presence. You have this monster said, let me out. And Rojas says, no, we're not going to do that. So he's using, because if he's doing that, he will be safe, but the other will be dead. So he's using his remaining powers to shoot the sergeant and the privates so that they can join into the fight, right? And then he's then transforming into the Hulk, grabs this container which holds his super armor, right? Because when he has that, he's going to be invincible. So basically, he's just doing Iron Manning up. So everything's now in place. He's been super duper strong now. He's targeting all of the enemies right? And then blast them to Kingdom Come. I mean, it looks super cool, right? It's just, I mean, yeah, but it's over in seconds. They all dead except for Songbird. He's and then she is using this boy who is also a telepath and tapping into the telepathic abilities, augmenting or enhancing her own telepathic ability, using this to destroy the minds of the enemy. Well, these guys, right? Now, here is what I have a little bit trouble with. So, is this the same, right? I guess so, right? But then Rojas, the Star Slammer, is saying, "Hey, boy, I'm gonna link my silver mine with basically the Force, like Star Wars, combining with his hidden, latent, pushed away mental abilities, and then, well, you can see what's happening here. This boy's trying to break free from Songbird, and we see all these faces, and these are all linked, or Star Slammers, by the way, linked to the silver mines, and then they are basically helping this boy to overcome Songbird's hold, and then this guy's or woman's brain has been fried, and thus she's dead now, or something like that, I guess. But then, so who is all behind that? Well, some kind of a secret cabal or something that, somewhere else giving information to the sky people, right? Because the sky people are behind all this, but also not. There's another group behind all this, right? He says, "Oh, we lost you. We Songbird, where are you? Songbird is dead, and so rest of the Sky Strike Force. We must break contact." So who are they? Don't know, and we're never gonna see them again, right? So this it's very convoluted. It's a lot of people behind it, a lot of going back and forth, who's behind it and the why and not. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's just so convoluted. Anyway, so there I have. They're safe, right? So they saved the day, but then Rojas is breaking into the computer somehow because this ship is still flying towards the Empire, and since Colonel Phaedra is working for the Empire, right? She thinks that the Emperor that hired her to do her job is now furious. So to make amends, he is saying, "Hey, I'm coming up with a plan." He's kissing her, going away using, I don't know, jet boots. Looks a little bit silly here, to be honest, right? And then he goes into a part of the ship, right? And these are explosive bolts in case of a reactor emergency, right? And he's activating them. So this particular part of the ship is now breaking free. He's controlling them through the suit, I guess. And then he's using, I don't know, going into light speed, warped away, going back to the Star Slammer's homeworld, and then a guy just still alive, right? But that was the pilot. Oh, by the way, and the Meritor blew itself out of existence. So if I'm correctly, oh yeah, I was a little bit too far. Anyway, so these guys bringing this little boy, telepathic boy, he did a great job basically adopting them to this whole team, right? They're making some jokes here. And then, so the Star Slammer says, "Hey, use the pods to escape with the rest of the people on board because I'm going to blow this thing to Kingdom Come." And she says, "Why?" He says, "I was an on-board prisoner for some time, Colonel. I can't be sure what was learned about me or the Star Slammers while I was unconscious. The Meredith will self-destruct in 1 hour, so they need to get away, and then, later then the Meredith is gone. So there's no trace of any Star Slammer information anymore. So the Star Slammers are still a, what's the word I'm looking for? Mythical, probably not, but a very, they have some kind of a status, right? Nobody should know what the Star Slammers are, except that they're mercenaries and extremely dangerous. But they're supposedly good guys, although they are just guns for hire. So even they can invade people that are good if the pay was good. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so basically this is I don't know. It's just basically rounding up. And also he said here, the Star Slammer says, "Hey, Phaedra, if we see each other again, I'm gonna sign you the book that you like, because it seems that he's some kind of a writer author, and she reads all his books, and she's a fan, right? And she says now, hey, I want to have an autograph of that book. The end," or something like that. What does it say here? I totally missed this particular part. Oh yeah, there's still another part of the ship, right? With this, the Star Slammer on it, and it says initial reports suggest that the entire village of Sky on planet Skyros, recently damaged in a raid by a notorious Star Slammer, was completely vaporized. So basically, he gets revenge on the Sky people because they betrayed him or something like that, right? The Supreme Council of Sky has only just returned home to help with the village's recovery. There are no known survivors. No casualties have been determined, but there are unconfirmed reports that the starship Meredith, the freighter carrying the captured Star Slammer, was in trouble and has been broken up. The Emperor is said to be devastated. Yeah, probably not. The end. That's it. Ooh, by John Byrne. Nice. Cover gallery and gallery Frank Miller. That's the book. It's very convoluted. Nothing makes sense. Like I said, the prologue, not this prologue, but the prologue of the hardcover that I showed you, super cool. I think, oh man, all these, there was more Star Slammers, right? More different suits, cool suits like this one, different colors, different designs, and they're taking up, the fight to the Empire, right? And they have a whole planet full of Star Slammers. So they go from the planet and, and fighting the Empire. And I thought, okay, I want to see more. And then it turns out to be Jailbreak in space or something with one Star Slammer that turns into the Hulk or something like that, with a cool, sexy babe in the middle. That's it. It's boring as fuck. A wasted opportunity. I like the premise, but it turns out to be a dud or something. I don't know. I still don't know what's going on. Very disappointed, because I had very high hopes for this book. And yeah, that's it, guys. That's it. I've done nothing more to tell. Wasted opportunity. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.